Welcome to another edition of the Believe Fantasy Football Show. Lindsay Rhodes here with Michael Fabiano and a few friends that we're going to get to in just a second, because today is a special edition of the show. No more discussing free agency moves and what they're going to mean for your fantasy drafts. Today we're going to do a mock draft and let our picks do the talking. Although you know that that's not entirely true, because Fabs and I very much struggle not to launch into 15-minute diatribes about each pick. Mainly me, I understand, but I'm incentivized to keep it moving this time because we have a limited window to get this in. And I very much want to get through as many rounds as possible, as a 2-round mock draft doesn't really do any of us any good. And I want to start seeing some strategies emerge from this. Understanding, of course, that it is still very, very early to do any kind of mock drafting, and the rookie draft at the end of April is definitely going to have an effect on all of this. That said, we're going to draft with the information that we have. And in this case, we means me, Fabs, Alex Tosopoulos, who is our producer, and our buddy James Roday Rodriguez, who you know from Psych and a Million Little Things and all of the things. And I'm so excited at his Titans fandom. See if
Did you notice, by the way, the helmets that I have behind me? I got old Oilers. I got the latest Oilers before they became the Titans. And then I got the Titans over here, all for James. And because the old Oilers helmets are also quite glorious.
It's a very warm welcome, as always. Yeah. And I'm appreciative. And Fabs has a heart out at 3 because he's a businessman and also a Lothario out in the street.
I wish.
A Lothario. I need to hear more about that.
Yeah,
nope, I don't want to.
You don't want to, no.
James, I'm interested to hear from you, though, about all of these Titans moves, because we've talked to you a million times on Fantasy Dirt and the likes about your Titans fandom, and a lot has changed since we last talked.
Initially, I was pleased because they were active. They said they were going to be aggressive, and they started making moves right away. So that was very fun for us as fans to know that Rand was in his lab doing his thing. A couple of the moves made all the sense in the world to me, most notably the Cushenberry signing. A couple of them were not as clear, but that's why, I'm not a GM for a living. I like the idea of Tony Pollard as a complimentary back, but it feels like he does a lot of the same exact things that Tajay does. So that'll be interesting to see going into the draft if they plan on adding to the running back room with like a north-south sort of bruiser. Obviously, still have to address left tackle. I'm guessing that'll happen at pick number 7. And we still need help in the secondary, and we need another defensive lineman. So we got work to do, but Calvin Ridley did not see coming. I don't think anybody saw that signing coming. Yeah. I like taking him away from a division rival.
Yeah.
If he finishes a top 10 wide receiver, then that was the right amount to pay him. So we'll see.
Who's your team, Alex?
He's a Cowboys fan. There's 2 of us
in the world.
Yeah, that's
in
it.
This room currently.
I will say though, I actually hail from Dallas, so it's not that I'm a.
Hey, don't give me the crap.
Oh,
you're a Howard fan.
I root for my hometown team. I root for my.
I like you already.
Cowboys fans outside of the state of Texas than there are in the state of Texas.
It's easier to be from someplace than to hail from it. So good for you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
See, I'm the opposite. Typically, the teams that I hate are from the places where I've lived. Like, I love the Yankees, and I lived in New York. Okay. I love the Lakers, and I lived in LA. Okay. But I hate the UConn Huskies, the men's basketball team, because all my friends jumped on the bandwagon, and I'm from Connecticut, so I hated them. And then, obviously, all the other teams around me, Red Sox, Mets, all that kind of stuff, Giants, hate all those teams. So I'm kind of the opposite of the normal fan.
James, that must be annoying, right? Like for a Yankees, Cowboys, and Lakers fan to deal with the bandwagoners around him.
So
I was 8 years old when I picked these teams. Okay. I didn't know what bandwagon was.
Okay.
Although there hasn't been much of a Cowboys bandwagon for
exactly. The last 30 years we hadn't done jack.
It's true.
Duty. So I'm trying not to swear. So it hasn't been that much fun. If you started rooting for the Cowboys after 95, you have had nothing but heartbreak. So
it's true.
It's so sad for you.
Present.
Okay.
Present.
what do you say we get this thing going? What we're going to do, because there's 4 of us, and obviously we're not going to do a 4-person mock draft. I mean, a 4-team mock draft. So it's a 12-teamer. Each of us is going to have 3 teams. Roday has the number 1 pick, which means that he will also draft the team in the 5-hole and the 9-hole. I'm going to go second, which means I get the 6th and the 10th. Fabs is 3rd, 7th, and 11th. Tosses 4, 8, and 12. Okay. So we're going to do PPR, non-super flex, just straight up. I'm really curious to see how many quarterbacks come off. And like, if we get through 4 rounds, let's say, like, how many actually go with this group. Anyway, lots of things that are interesting about this. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. James Roday Rodriguez, you are on the clock with the number 1 overall pick. Who are you going to take?
All right, team 1 is risk adverse. They're a conservative squad. They're not looking to shake up the draft and cause chaos at the top. They will happily select Christian McCaffrey.
Alrighty, I already had him crossed out on my list. That one I think is a good pick and a pretty obvious pick. The next running back I'm not yet ready to take. I have the 2nd overall pick. I think I might surprise you guys with where I'm going to go with this. I mean, it's not like a huge reach, but I think a lot of people would go CeeDee Lamb here. I'm going to go Tyreek because of the offseason for the Cowboys. I think that they're both kind of same to me. And if the Cowboys do a little bit more this offseason, I might be incentivized to take CD here over Tyreek, but I'm going to go Tyreek Hill because I'm more confident about what I'm going to see from that Miami offense.
Well,
what about you, Fabs, with the 3rd pick?
Folks.
Where's he going to go?
Okay, let's just move on. Receiver in fantasy football last year. I don't know what to do, CeeDee Lamb.
Okay. All right, he takes CD. So we have 2 wide receivers and a running back off the board. Alex, you're up next. Who are you going to go with?
Yeah, I think, Lindsay, I appreciate your nod to continuity with the Dolphins. Dak and CD, obviously nothing's changing there. So I think they will be highly productive once again. But that is going to make me zag from my guy, Justin Jefferson.
It is.
And I like the bounce back for Sam Darnold. I still have stock on Darnold Island, but I'm going to take Jamar Chase with the 4th pick.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he is due for a massive year, and Burrow healthy is going to, it's going to help a lot.
I have Chase over JJ as well in my rankings at this very moment. Again, so much is going to change, right? So like we're just kind of drafting based on how things stand
in the now
and the knowledge that we have. I mean, you can assume that moves are going to be made, but we don't know exactly what those moves are, who the pieces are, what they mean for the pieces around them that we're drafting. And so with the information that we have right now, and there are some big question marks in certain teams, this is the way things stand. So now we're at the 5th pick, and James Roday Rodriguez, you get to start this roster here.
Yeah, I would have gone Jamar Chase as well, but I feel like JJ is not a bad consolation prize at number 5. So I will go ahead and take him here.
I like it. And I like it partially because my wide receiver 3 is still available.
I know who it is.
And that is Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Uh-huh.
I mean, again, it's because he went to USC. Has nothing to do with the fact that he was wide receiver 3 last season. Like, anyway, Amon-Ra St. Brown, you guys, if Fabs knows this about me, I am relatively risk averse in the early rounds. I want to know what I'm drafting. I want certain questions answered, and I want to kind of understand what the offense looks like, all of these different, very important questions. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, we've seen the productivity. The offense is going to look pretty similar to what it looked like last year. There haven't been any major sweeping changes there this offseason. They even managed to hold on to their offensive coordinator, and that was a coup. So I like Amon-Ra St. Brown for consistency's sake. I think it's pretty low risk in the 1st round. So now we're at Fabs, and he's already put his pick into the document. Who is it?
Yeah, Bijan Robinson. To me, the 2nd best running back in fantasy going in. Kirk Cousins now in the offense, and Arthur Smith no longer running things in Atlanta. So get Bijan the damn ball. I wouldn't be surprised if he was the number 1 running back in fantasy football at the end of next season, only because we've had a little bit of an issue with the number 1 overall picks in the last 4 years being somewhat cursed. Not that I believe in that stuff, but I like to have a little bit of fun and bring it up. So I'll go with Bijan here.
I've got a question for you now, Toss. What is the line where you have to put an E on an episode, like a podcast episode? I know it's not damn. Could be.
Do you want me to say it and then we can put the E on? No, I'm just. It's if you drop the F bomb, I think you're in the E.
Oh, that's the one.
Territory. Nah,
SBA were fine with no.
It's kind of up to producer's discretion, which is fun.
You get to
me.
decide.
Yeah.
You get to decide how many. Is this appealing with an E, or am I going to scare people away? Fabs will never go there. I will. You're going to get all of them from me here on this podcast. Anyway, something to look forward to or not. We are now on pick number 8. And Alex, that is you.
That is me. Fab just said, give Bijan the damn ball. And you know what rhymes with that? Brees Hall. So that's what I'm going to take Brees Hall with my next pick here. I think they acquired 3 offensive linemen, the Jets did, in free agency, namely Tyron Smith from the Dallas Cowboys. Yep. And he was incredibly effective without Aaron Rodgers in the pass game and in the rushing attack last year. I think he is due for a massive breakout year. So I'm going to take Brees Hall here.
All right. Hopefully Aaron Rodgers can keep his lower body intact and maybe doesn't get distracted from his vice presidential run. James Roday Rodriguez, you are up next with the 9th overall pick. I can count. Don't worry.
Yeah. When you're a critical thinker, that comes with great responsibility. And Team 9, are looking to shake things up a little bit. They're looking to not to finish 3rd, but to win the whole damn league. And that means you got to play big, Team 9.
I'm looking forward to this.
So give me Saquon Barkley behind that Eagles offense.
Whoa. Okay.
And let's see if he can do what he did when he first came into the league. Take some pressure off Jalen Hurts and be the 3-down back that we all want to believe that he can be. Let's do it. Let's shake things up.
This one's an interesting one because I think Saquon, so running backs in Philadelphia for the last few years have usually finished around like RB 16 in that range-ish, right? Like that's where we're used to seeing them fall, but they haven't had a running back of Saquon's caliber. The offensive line has changed. Is there as much tush push, brotherly shove every time? I forget their trademark. Anyway, so there are questions about whether or not he'll be able to finish much higher than the running backs there have in the past. I like the pick. I'm going to go with a running back also because one that I actually have ahead of Brees Hall in my rankings is still available. So I am drafting now out of the 10 hole, and I'm going to take Jahmyr Gibbs. And that brings up Fabs with the 11th pick.
Very interesting, Rhodes.
Is it?
No,
critique. Tell me why. Tell me what you like. Don't like.
No. It's not that I don't like it. I mean, he's going to end up going end of the first round, somewhere around the turn, without question. Yeah. I thought you may have gone with wide receiver there, but
right. We're doing a bunch of different builds. I will take
AJ Brown with this pick. So AJ Brown, who was spectacular in the first half of last year, and then kind of faded down the stretch, but that offense is going to be wicked good, especially now with the addition of Saquon. So I will go with AJ Brown at number 11.
Okay. We're almost through the first round, you guys. Alex, you are going to close us out, and then you have the first pick of the second round, too. You are operating on the turn. Let's see. You've got some pretty good running backs that are available. Kyron is still out there. Jonathan Taylor, to name a few in this range. Wide receivers, you're looking at like maybe are we going to go Puka or Garrett Wilson or someone like that?
Team 12 doesn't love the board right now. Just going to be honest with you.
I hear you.
But Team 12 will be selecting Jonathan Taylor with their first pick.
And
they're not stoked about it.
I know. It's
like it's your first round pick and you're depressed about it. You shouldn't be making that pick then. You should have gone completely in a different direction.
Well, like what though, Fabs? Like what?
No,
like
but
what?
I do love the volume, and I like that Zach Moss isn't in that backfield anymore, and I like Richardson getting healthy. I think that'll open things up. Like I think the Colts will be solid. Will they be better than the Titans? No. There you go, James. That's for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And with the second pick,
That was generous, by the way.
yeah. I am going to. I'll take Kyron, and I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not super pumped about this one either. But I do. Again, I like the volume, and I like having 2 workload running backs on my team.
Yeah, and what I like about this for purposes of our mock draft is that now we have a build that has 2 high-end running backs, right? And now we get to see what that means for your building strategy. Like, where do we get our wide receivers? Who's left? Are you still going to be okay at wide receiver? And so that exercise will play out. Okay, so now we are pick 2 of the second round, and that is Michael Fabiano, Team 11, which drafted A.J. Brown in the first round. Who are you going to pair with him?
So I'm going to do different builds for all of my teams, at least try and not be super similar.
I don't know if I'm that organized.
Would probably go with a wide receiver, but I'm going to take a running back here. So wide receiver, running back. I'll take Travis Etienne.
Etienne is off the board. Take
him.
All right, I'm up next with the team out of the 10 hole. And let's see, I took Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round. So I could go with another running back and do that same build, or I could go with a wide receiver. I mean, Puka's still there. You guys know I love me some Nico. I'm going to pick again in a few picks, so I should stop talking about who I like. I think I'm going to go with gosh, who's more
Get the
likely?
Jeopardy music out, folks.
Come
on, Rhodes. By the way, James and Tass, I don't know if you guys know this. Lindsay is the human draft killer.
I know. You know what? You're a hater. You're a hater.
You're killing it right now.
Shut up. I'm going to take Achan.
All right.
Oh, that was all of that drama. And then we got all right.
Ashan Ashan. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, from Miami.
Yeah.
If he can stay healthy, I think he could be RB1. He has that type of talent. And I think that offense is also the kind of offense that's going to find ways to get the ball to all of their pieces in space. I trust Mike McDaniels as a play caller. So McDaniels. I do it every time. Which one has an S? Is it Josh or is it Mike? I don't know. You know who I'm talking about. All right, so now
he's without us. He's without
Mike McDaniel. No S, Josh McDaniels S.
Yeah, but like the next time I'm going to be in the exact same position. I'm going to be like one of them has an S and one of them doesn't.
We don't even talk about Josh anymore.
That's a true story. So eliminate the S.
Yeah.
Just
now
like
the confusing thing,
although
it becomes Mike McDonald too, right? Because he's the guy. He's in Seattle.
This is a confusing
let's not go down
conversation.
that
You just made it worse for me. Thanks a lot. Okay, James Roday, you are up. You are drafting. Let's see the fourth pick here to pair with Saquon.
This is my fast and loose wild card team. So I'm going to stick with that approach. Let me start very quickly by saying I am not a believer in 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers. I do not see him leading the Jets anywhere close to the promise.
Or the free world.
However, if he can stay healthy, I can easily see Garrett Wilson getting peppered with targets the way that Devontae did back in the day. So he could still deliver some goods, even though Aaron will not be. I'm taking Garrett Wilson.
All right. Yeah, I think that's a good pick. I think we're probably going to end up seeing Garrett go on the turn in drafts. I think he's probably going to go maybe even a little tiny bit earlier than he went in this one. So I think that's a good value pick. Toss, you're up next. Who you want to put with Breece Hall?
Yeah, I'm upset that I didn't get to be a Jets fan and just have teammate be hardcore Jets squad.
You don't want to have an entire team built out of Jets that are all relying on Aaron Rodgers' Achilles.
If you're a Jets fan and you're a bad fantasy football player, you do. You know,
that's true. You're neither.
I'm going to take Mike Evans with this pick.
Ooh, I like that. That's early, but I like it.
Is it though? Like he's just
not that early.
He's just a stud every year, and I feel like he kind of gets disrespected. When is he going to fall off? Is the question we always ask, and then he never does. And he's playing with Baker again, and they had a good connection.
Yeah, it fits what I was talking about, which is I think I'm a little bit higher than Mike Evans. I kind of, before this exercise, went and looked at a bunch of different people's rankings just to kind of see roughly what other people were thinking and where I might be able to find value, where I differed the most. And Mike Evans was one of the names that popped up. People had him a lot lower in their rankings. A handful of people, like not just one, then lower than I am on him. I like that pick. And as you guys know, again, it's the consistency and the understanding, the certainty that I like to chase this early. And I think you know exactly. Shoot, Fabs! He put in his next pick already, and he got my guy. All right, who are you putting with Bijan
really
Robinson?
Was your guy, you would have taken him on your Gibbs team, but yeah, I mean Puka. This
okay.
He probably is going to go maybe a little bit earlier in round 2, but this is ballpark. Top 20 pick across the board. I do worry that I'm drafting him after a ceiling season at reception and at yardage in those 2 categories, but hard to ignore him at this point, middle of second round.
Yeah, he's a stud. I think it's a great pick. If he falls off, I don't think he falls off that dramatically. I'm going to go with a wide receiver to pair with my Amon-Ra St. Brown pick, and I am going to go with Fabs. Do you want to tell them? Who do you think I'm going to take here?
How about I got a helmet right there that guy might wear?
No.
Okay.
It's like you don't know me at all.
You're taking Nico.
Yes, I'm taking Nico. I'm taking Nico.
Again,
certainty.
It's fine.
In the early rounds, I'm confident that Nico
rankings, so it's fine.
Is going to put I'm doing what?
Nothing. Go ahead. Continue. Hey, James Roday's on the clock.
Sure am. This is my Jefferson build, which I intended to be a wide receiver build. So I will stay true to that in the spirit of showing people different builds. And I will take a wide receiver that almost does nothing for me, but is the highest one on the board. They locked him into a new deal. Like Tass mentioned, maybe Richardson comes back and some fun things happen. I guess I'll take Pittman.
There you go.
I love that you're like, I don't like this pick, but I'm going to make
Titans
it.
Fan taking a Colt. That's the problem.
Yeah, but it felt like the right move for someone who wanted to start with 2 wide receivers.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Alex, you're up next. Who are you going to put with Jamar Chase?
I am also going to do the double wide receiver 1 stack. I'm also chasing points from 2 years ago. I'm gonna take Stephon Diggs. I'm looking at 2 stud quarterbacks who have number 1 wide receivers. And worst case scenario, if things start rocky for the Bills, he forces his way out to the Cowboys, and Fabs and I are really happy, and he's playing with Dak. And it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. No, but I have Chase and Diggs, and I feel comfortable with that.
My concern with Diggs is that he still doesn't have a super strong wide receiver too. I really like the addition of Curtis Samuel, and I assume that they're going to go wide receiver in the draft, but like until I see who that is and what it looks like, I'm not 100% sure that we fixed the problems that we saw from Diggs at the end of the season, but that could end up being a good pick. Fabs, you are up next with the 10th pick of the second round. Who are you going to pair with? CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah, this one here, I'll go wide receiver, and the best guy on my board right now is Davante Adams, who, drove you nuts last year, and, it was a disappointment, but his numbers at the end of the season were still pretty good. And I'm hoping that the mustache ends up starting for the Raiders because he has shown the ability to help a number 1 wide receiver produce, which he did last year with Michael Pittman in Indianapolis. So I will go with Davante Adams as my wide receiver 2.
Okay, Davante Adams. There we go. We've got several RB builds and wide receiver builds going on here so far. Let's see. I am up next with the 11th pick of the second round. Who am I going to put with Tyreek Hill? Am I going to go running back? Am I going to go wide receiver? I'm not going to dip into the tight ends yet, and I'm not going to go Josh Allen at this point. So I think that I could probably get the running back I have my eye on in the next round. So I'm going to go wide receiver here. And then the question just becomes which one? Marvin Harrison, dude, where is he going to go? This is kind of the range I think I would start looking at him if he went to a place where he had a quarterback that I actually trusted. In the meantime, I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go Drake London. I'm going to go Drake London. I have him one spot lower than Chris Olave on my rankings, but I'm just making a call. Like my gut is calling out to
Who
me.
did you take? I was doing the Jeopardy theme song.
I know. Drake London. I'm taking Drake
London.
London. No, that's not a USC thing.
It's fine. It's all good. It's
no, it's a professional quarterback. Like I think he's a very, very good wide receiver. I think he has wide receiver 1 upside. He better because, well, no, he's my wide receiver too. So we're good. We're good. That's where he is.
If he went to UCLA, I guarantee you would not have drafted him.
That is not true. That is not true.
It's true.
At all. No, I very much like I talked up DTR all off season last year. I'm an unbiased fantasy drafter. Let's see James Roday Rodriguez.
So says the analyst who went to USC and has drafted 2 USC Trojans in the first
who are incredible. It's not my fault that we churn out wide receivers like, you know. I don't know how to finish that.
All right, Roday, here's what I want Roday to do. Because Lindsay already played her. She already showed her hand and she wants to draft a running back next. I think James should take the 2 best running backs on the board next to spite Lindsay. But you do what you want to do, my friend.
Here's the deal. You don't know if your 2 running backs that you have next up are the ones that I have next up.
All right.
So play that game at your own risk.
All right.
All right. So I started with Christian McCaffrey, which I feel like gives me, in theory, an advantage, to take some mitigated risk, assuming that Christian McCaffrey stays healthy and does everything that he usually does. You're kind of getting 2 players in one. So this feels like a reasonable time for a risk-adverse player to go ahead and say, okay, Kyler to Marvin Harrison Jr. should work.
I like that.
That should work in theory because he's proven that he can lift a wide receiver 1 in the past. And everything we're hearing about this kid is that he's off the charts, generational. So let's take Marvin off the board.
I think that's a good pick.
If while you make your second pick here, James, if 4 QBs go in the draft and he ends up in Los Angeles with Justin Herbert, are we as excited about that as we are with Kyler, though? Just because of the volume with Kyler, I think I still favor him in Arizona, personally.
What do you mean? The volume in LA, there's no one else there.
You're so low on Josh Palmer, Lindsay. I don't know.
Josh Palmer's fine as a wide receiver 3. He's a wide receiver 3. And Quentin can come or go. I don't know
what he is yet. I mean, both are pretty fun to think about, for sure.
Good question, Alex.
Thanks.
All right. I'll lead off pick 3 with look, I have to do it, and Fabs shouldn't be surprised at all. But
I just typed it in. Oh no, I didn't because I have 2 spreadsheets here. But I know where you're going. It's fine.
I think Derrick Henry is still good for 12 to 14 touchdowns and 1,000 yards in that backfield, and I think he comes at big time value this season. So count me in.
All right, so James Roday Rodriguez, drafting out of the 1 hole, has put together a team through 3 rounds that consists of Christian McCaffrey, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Derrick Henry. I like that build so far. I am drafting next. I have Tyreek Hill and Drake London on this particular team. I'm going to go running back here, and the one that I wanted is still there. And I don't think even if he had taken 2 running backs that he would be gone. I'm going to go with Isaiah Pacheco.
You are correct.
I think he's pretty set in his role in that offense, which is going to continue to be good. And
it's fun to watch him play. I'll say that
for sure. I like him very much. So that's where we're going to go. So the 3rd pick of the 3rd round is Michael Fabiano. He's got CeeDee Lamb and Devontae Adams. We're not going to go wide receiver, are we? Or are we?
No, I am because I want to mix up the builds.
Ooh.
So in theory, this player is not my top ranked player left on the board, but because I'm trying to mix it up, I'm going to go Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Ayuk is on fire.
What do you think? Like, are you? Yeah, because that's all this Pittsburgh talk has me a little scared. Like, that's, I don't know if I want whoever is catching the ball from Russell Wilson that high. Although Brandon Ayuk would be a great person to pair with him. I think he would make him much better. I very much like Brandon Ayuk's talent,
and he's my wide receiver 3, so giddy up.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, so next up we have
I'm on
Alex,
the board.
you're up next.
Yeah, this team had the 4th pick in the first round. They have Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, and for the sake of showing the listeners different looks, I'm going to go with the QB wide receiver stack. I'm going to take the first QB off the board, and I'm going to take Josh Allen to pair with Stephon Diggs and also have Jamar Chase. Now, I need running backs, but I like my 3 guys, and they're all high volume, high reward players.
I also like, first of all, I love the fact that you did the stack. So you're right. This is the team that I think should break that seal on Josh Allen. I also love the fact that we're going to see where you get your running backs. And so if you push these running backs down the board, what does the team end up looking like? I hope we can maybe get there. And that's why I'll shut up now. James, you're up next. You have a team that has drafted Justin Jefferson and Michael Pittman Jr. Who are you going to put with them?
Well, I'm thinking maybe this is where the Josh Jacobs fall stops. Even though it doesn't make a ton of sense to me why they would rather pay Josh Jacobs than Aaron Jones, I do think there'll be plenty of carries for him in that offense. And I am a Jordan Love believer. So it feels like he shouldn't fall too much further than this. I'll go ahead and take him off.
You did it. All right, let's see here. I have concerns about Josh Jacobs and just he was not great last year. And I don't know how much of that was the Raiders and how much
the year before. Remember, he had the holdout last year. He missed the last 4 games of the season. He's in a wicked good offense. I love Josh Jacobs. If I wasn't going with that 3 wide receiver build, I would have drafted him with that pick earlier in this round.
I think he'll definitely
bottom at all. Prime of his career, that offense is going to be fun to watch.
I guess I understand what you're saying about prime of his career in terms of age, but once running backs fall off a cliff, sometimes it happens quickly. So I just don't know. I don't have an answer as to whether last year was because of all the things that you said or whether or not he's just started to fall off for some reason, whether the body has started to fall apart, which for whatever reason does, happens early at running back. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Nico Collins are the 2 picks that I've already made with the 6-hole slot. And so I have 2 wide receivers. I'm not going to go wide receiver here. I need to start getting some running backs. I don't really love any of the ones here. I've talked to you about my concerns with Rachaad White. James Cook, I have question marks about. Am I going to go Aaron Jones here? He's so old.
What is he, 29?
Yeah, he's gonna be 30. He's ancient among running backs, though.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'll take Rachaad White here. I don't love the pick, but that's where I'm gonna go. All right. So next up is Michael Fabiano. You have a very balanced squad. I feel like we have very few balanced squads. Oh wait, we're about to get into a run of them. So Fabs, you have Bijan Robinson and Puka Nacua. Who's going with them?
Mm-hmm. I want to, again, my whole purpose here is to mix it up, right? So do different things. Okay. I would not do this.
This is productive.
But I'm going to do it because I want to show people what the first 4 or 5 rounds of a build with a quarterback in the first 3 rounds looks like. And so I will take Hurt So Good. Come on, baby, make it. Come on, that's John. I know, James. Did you see the face James made? That face he looked like he ate a lemon.
No.
When he was listening to my John Cougar Mellencamp.
I was absolutely delighted.
No,
I was delighted.
No, it's terrible. I get it, but I'm gonna.
You don't have to be kind to him when he sings.
Like
James, that's not the rule on this show.
He brought around little cups of Kool-Aid for everybody. It was very sweet.
right, Alex, you're up next. You've got Breece Hall and Mike Evans. So you two have some balance going into this. Where would you like to go with your third round pick?
I do. I have some balance. I have some options here. I'm enticed by one running back. I don't really want to give away my trade secrets.
I know.
But I do want to. I like that Fabs is talking his picks out for the listeners. I appreciate that. I'm going to take running back in a new situation. I'm going to take Joe Mixon.
There you go.
With this team, and he's going to join Breece Hall. And I like my two running backs. I think that they've had good years, productive years, but I think this could be their best year, both of them. I mean, Breece Hall's next 3 years could be his best years, but Joe Mixon, this is a scenario where he's going to get a lot of the workload. And CJ Stroud is a sophomore QB. He's a stud, but you didn't have the running backs to rely on last year. And I expect their offense is going to be even more productive than it was last year. So more red zone looks, more red zone touches, more touchdowns.
Joe Mixon was the RB6 last year, which is crazy to think about, but he was the top 6 back. I love it. Houston does not have a problem in that backfield anymore.
Nope.
That
hasn't been used before. That was really, really original.
But it was good. It was good.
Was it?
Roday was like, have I heard that before?
Who's the Houston running back that we've already forgotten about because it didn't work out?
Dameon Pierce.
Oh, man, we barely knew him.
Yeah. Yep. I know. I don't know what happened there, but
see, with Houston, Rhodes, I could have gone with Houston. We have a problem, or he's now playing on. Let's see if you guys can get this.
Oh boy,
The Planet Houston. What movie?
I don't know. It sounds like a Schwarzenegger mispronunciation.
Oh
no. I'm out.
I'm going to guess
Superman 2. When they came down after they were released from that glass jail in space, they came down and the cop told Zod, you're in Houston, the Planet Houston. No, you don't remember that? That's the best Superman movie, Superman 2.
That was right on the tip of your tongue, right, Toss?
Yeah. Actually, the thing that popped into my head was Danny Houston, who's
that?
A talented vet actor.
Yeah, character actor.
Yeah.
Huston.
Yeah.
Are you showing off for James? Like what?
I know.
Are you like at the SAG Awards here or something? What's going on?
He complimented my lexicon, so I'm just trying to.
What was that episode of Seinfeld where George had a crush on like one of Elaine's boyfriends? I think we may have that going here with Toss on Roday.
Look, you guys have your own special thing that you two do, and Tosh and I have our thing. So just
they talk about how they have a brother-sister relationship like every show.
Let our thing breathe.
Yeah.
We fight like a married couple, but yes, we are like a brother-sister. Yeah,
we're cultivating something on our side of the screen, and all we ask is that you're respectful of that. Yeah.
All right,
James is excellent at filibustering when he's on the clock too.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Which he is, by the way, with
my fault.
Team 9.
Team 9 is my gunslinger team. They're the ones that are willing to put it all out there for the gold. So Team 9 is gonna bet that Travis Kelce has one more big season left in him. And
wow, okay,
tight end.
There you go.
Okay.
I'm actually really jealous of that pick.
What number pick is this? Because this is where I'm not good at math. So we've got 24, 5, 6,
34,
30. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because it's like 12 teams, third round, 36, and then you back up a couple. There you go. Okay. Go ahead, Rod. Right. Take another Trojan.
Did you just start a run? You might have started a run. I am going to take.
No, you don't have to. You don't need to, Lindsay. You don't need to.
Okay. You don't think so? Are you lying?
I don't know.
You're lying. I don't trust you.
You're gonna snipe Toss. Nobody snipes Toss
in Love and Fantasy Football. So I am going to go with Laporta here, even though I don't have a wide receiver. So here's that build: running back, tight end. I have Jahmyr Gibbs, Achane, Laporta. We're going all in on year 2 players here with this team. More of that, please. Fabs, you're up next with the 11th pick of the 3rd round. You have AJ Brown and Travis Etienne on this team. Who are you going to put with them?
So, and again, this is what you need to do when you're drafting. You know, you got to look at who's drafting around you and what they've done. So Toss already has 2 running backs, which means that he's probably not going to take a running back. Okay. He might, but I mean, 3 running backs in the first 4 rounds would be a little bit weird.
You're right.
So I'm not going to take a running back here. Instead, I will take a wide receiver because I know he's probably going to take at least 1, if not 2 wide receivers. Maybe he takes a tight end, although I don't know that Andrews is worth a pick here. No. So I will go with DJ Moore, assuming that DJ Moore will remain the number 1 wide receiver in Chi-Town, even with Keenan Allen in the mix.
That's an interesting conversation to have as we move forward, because I think that there are some backfields that are confusing, and there's some wide receiver situations where, like, I mean, those are 2 very good wide receivers, right? So what do they do to each other's fantasy value? Is it good? Is it bad? I think that's a good pick, though. I like DJ Moore. So Toss, you're up next. You do, as Fab said, have 2 running backs.
That's right. My team currently has Jonathan Taylor and Kyron Williams. Consider me confused by the receiving core in Chicago. So Fabs, I'm glad you took DJ Moore. I wasn't even looking at him because I actually think Keenan Allen with Caleb Williams there will be a better just security blanket for him. That's what he was for Justin Herbert.
Anything's possible.
Yeah. So you made that pick for me. I will take Deebo Samuel with my first pick because I think, I mean, if Ayuk gets traded, like Deebo is going to get peppered with targets. He just has to stay healthy, which he never can. It's a risk, but you know, he's got those volatile games where he pops off. So
you need to say his name correctly. He is no longer Deebo Samuel. He is now Deebo Samuel Senior.
That's correct, because the world needs more Deebos than it has. So
yeah, he must have just had a Deebo, a little Deebo.
So I'll take Senior there. The reason why I was a little upset with James is because I wanted another stack. I'm a sucker for a stack, and I wanted to take Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. I will take Patrick Mahomes here on the flip. I think adding Hollywood Brown, y'all talked about it on your last show. Rashee Rice going into year 2. Travis Kelce's still there. Pacheco is really rounding into form as their stud running back. Patrick Mahomes could end up QB1. Nobody would be surprised. So I like him on my squad there.
All right. So I'm up next, and I'm gonna go with a 3rd wide receiver here, and I will go with Chris Olave over what's available at running back because, to be honest with you, I don't really worry about it's so weird. It's like the bizarro world for me because I've been such a running backs freakazoid for like the entirety of my career doing this, and now it's like, I can wait. It's It's like you must unlearn what you have learned. By the way, Empire Strikes Back, Yoda to Luke Skywalker. I will go Chris Olave here.
Oh man.
What? It's
many nerdy movie references, dude. Just bring it into the century.
Only the greatest like this one of all time. I mean, maybe Godfather 2, but come on, Empire Strikes Back.
I feel like if we provided a warmer, more less judgmental sort of atmosphere for Fabs, I think he would have really gone for that Yoda impression, and we wouldn't have been wondering what he was doing. But I think because he knows he's going to get met with judgment.
Yes.
He only went halfway, and then he had to tell us that it was Yoda.
No, see, I see Fabs as in an alternate light, and that is the more shit I give him, the more he leans into what he's doing. And so we're more likely to get like all of the nerd is coming out now, which I actually, I don't know.
You know what I watched? You know what I watched last night? I saw it on I think it's on Peacock. They have a Journey documentary.
Oh, actually. Yeah, that does sound appealing.
It's like, I think it's like, the lost voice and the found voice or something like that between Steve Perry and Arnell. It's fantastic. So at some point in here, and by the way, Journey, Don't Stop Believing, the most downloaded song in the history of planet Earth. Wow. So I will definitely get in a Journey mention here before we wrap things up.
Well done.
Well, you already did. So we're good, I think. Check that box. All right.
We have a whole round to go. You nailed it.
All right, I'm up next, and I'm trying to pull up, all these different screens open. Okay, so this was the team drafting out of the 10 hole. Jahmyr Gibbs, Devon Achane, Sam Laporta. I do have a wide receiver that I like here, and I'm going to go with, we've had a lot of Chiefs assets that have already been drafted. Pacheco, Kelce, Mahomes. Why don't I go ahead and round this out with Rashee Rice?
All right. Interesting.
All right. So why is that interesting? That feels judgmental. That's more than
No, not at all. No,
Well-
I think it's. I mean, there may have been a wide receiver or two I would have went with ahead of him, but like no, for me, Rashee Rice, I wouldn't be surprised if Hollywood led that team in targets among wide receivers. But I mean, it's what the hell is it? March 21st. So I mean, we don't know, but okay, it's fine. This is where he belongs in this round for round 4.
okay.
I
I'm
just
feeling
what
judged,
I like
but
to
that's
do,
fine.
Rhodes,
I'm secure. I'm secure in my pick. I don't care.
That was not a secure look. That you're no, unsecure.
I'm good. I'm good.
All right,
I'm good. James, you're up next.
You're on the clock, my friend.
Yes, this is my all risk, no reward team. Therefore, I will take Lamar Jackson and add him to Travis Kelce, Garrett Wilson, and Saquon Barkley.
Okay, so we have had four quarterbacks come off the board through 3.5 rounds. Not even 3.5 rounds. So noted. Alex, you're up next. You've got a team that has Breece Hall, Mike Evans, and Joe Mixon. 2 running backs, wide receiver. Where are you going to go next?
Yeah, I'm looking at the wide receivers right now. The guys on the board are DK, who we're all passing by, at least on Fabs' breakdown of the top 200. Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, similar situations. Which offense do you like more, right? And then there's Cooper Kupp. And he's just sitting there and he's looking at me in the face.
Right in the eyes.
Yeah.
Does he have a beard at the moment or not?
Is it before or after he turns his ankle on a route?
He's a wily veteran like Mike Evans, and maybe this is my old wide receiver team. I don't know. They're just so sure-handed. Right. I think I'm going to zag. I'm going to go for the young. I'm going to go DK Metcalf.
Oh, we didn't do that. Was okie doke. We got okie doked. We got okie doked. He literally wrote Cooper Kupp in the document, but then nope.
That's how convincing
it's like
you
all these things about Cooper Kupp and this and that. Oh, I'm going to take DK Metcalf. All right, it's fine. Okay. It's all good. All right, so I'm up. I've got Bijan. I've got Puka. I've got Jalen. And so it's kind of a best player available situation for me. And the best player available for me, who I will have to have some faith in, is Alvin Kamara as my RB2. So I've got 2 backs in the NFC South. Kamara was very good last season. Let's not forget when he came back, he was very productive. He's getting up there, but I mean, he's not a dude that's running between the tackles and getting popped on a constant basis. So as a 4th rounder, I'll take Alvin Kamara.
All right. Alvin Kamara is your pick. I am up next. I have Amon St. Brown, Nico Collins, and Rachaad White. I am going to go with a running back at the opposite end of the age scale from Rachaad White that I think will have a pretty big role, and that is Aaron Jones.
You dig yourself some Aaron Jones.
Do you not?
There's some running backs I would have taken ahead of him. I know he's going to be 30. And he kind of sucked for a lot of the year until the end of the year, and then he was dynamite. So I don't know. I'm not as high on Aaron Jones as some folks are. I think there's some other backs out there I would have taken ahead of him, but what do I know? I thought Kenny Pickett was going to be good last year, so what the hell?
Yeah, that was real bad, that call. I think Aaron Jones is going to be, as long as he stays healthy, which is a massive question mark. It's entirely possible. Like, I'm going to have to back this position group up now that I have Aaron Jones just for depth. But as long as he's healthy, I think he's money in the bank. All right, James Roday Rodriguez, you're up next. You have Justin Jefferson, Michael Pittman Jr., and Josh Jacobs on this squad. Who are you going to go with next?
I think I'm going to add another wide receiver so that I have a heavy wide receiver build. And at this point, I will homer it up and roll the dice on Calvin Ridley as a wide receiver 3. As a wide receiver 3.
I knew you were going to do that. I had a feeling that was going to happen. All right.
I had a feeling.
I did have a feeling that he was going to go because James, and he wears his heart on his sleeve. He loves his Titans. And obviously, I mean, right on his head there. So I'm not surprised that you went with Ridley there. Fantasy football is all about fun. If you draft a guy who was on your favorite team, giddy up. Toss.
Yep. Yeah.
You were on the clock.
I'm on the clock.
You've got 2 wide receivers in Chase and Diggs, and then you Stacky McStackered Diggs with Allen. And so you're running backless. Do you go with the running back here?
And I will remain running backless.
Whoa, 0.
For the sake of the variety of builds, I will take Mark Andrews, tight end, who I think this is a good spot for him to go. He's going into the year healthy now, and he's Lamar's favorite target. So he will get peppered, PPR. He's still got that massive upside. This is a good team. I'm not going to lie. It's a powerhouse team. A lot of big names doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win fantasy football. But I took a look at the running backs. There's a lot of guys who are RB1s on their team that if you went with the 0 RB strategy right now, at least at this point in the offseason, are enticing to me. But who knows?
This is the best fantasy football team in the year 2022. So good.
Yeah, really good.
Fabs, you're up next.
I've got 3 wide receivers. I've got the great CeeDee Lamb, who was the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy football last year. Devontae Adams, Brandon Ayuk. So some might say, you need a running back. You know what I say to them? I'm not going there. I'm going 0 RB, which I had never thought in a million years I would do. But I'm going to go 0 RB. I'm going to go with Jalen Waddle as my flex. So I'm gonna smoke some folks. And you know what? When you look at what's available at running back, in the 5th round, which is probably where I would go, some pretty good options still. So that's the state of the world that we live in fantasy right now. You don't have to go running back crazy, and you still get some good players. So Jalen Waddle for me.
4.
I feel like you're taking my takes, man. What the heck?
4 wide receivers.
Your takes? What do you mean your takes?
Oh, you touched a nerve there. He was like, I don't take anyone's takes. I am Michael Fabiano. You come to me for takes, bro. That's what you just got. That's me translating that face that we just saw that our podcast listeners did not. I'm up next.
I do this podcast faithfully with you, my friend, because I know that you are always going to have my back.
That was a dramatic delivery.
Well, I also mentioned a Journey song and it went right over your heads. But go ahead.
When did you do that?
Highway run on. Come on, faithfully. No, I can't do Steve Perry. Steve Perry is the god. I love Steve Perry. Quick story.
Oh, gosh.
All right, real quick, because I know, I got to go do something.
You're the one up against the clock.
It's fine. If we go, it's it. So I went to one of Jerry Cantrell's birthday parties, and these birthday parties in LA are all like crazy rock stars, and I love all of them because I'm a metalhead, if you hadn't known, right? Matthew had a baseball game this particular year, so I got there late. It was like 1 or 2 o'clock, and I'm all the rock stars are there. I'm having a great time. I look on Instagram, and Sebastian Bach from Skid Row, who was at the party, has got a picture with Steve Perry, and I'm like, where would he have seen Steve Perry? And then I'm looking, and I'm like, crap, it's Jerry's kitchen. Steve Perry was there, and because I came late, I missed him. I was so pissed, but it probably is a good thing because I would have went fanboy on him. I said, Steve, I would have tried to give him a hug. I would have told him I loved him, and it would have been really awkward. So it's probably not a good idea. So maybe I'm partially glad, but Steve Perry was there, and I missed it. All right, go ahead.
Wait.
You're up.
So since apparently our hard out's not so hard, I'm going to follow up that story with, did you see recently the Brett Michaels, our friend who came on Fantasy Dirt recently, was having a birthday party. Jay Glazer was there, also Sean McVay and Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
And Brett Michaels was singing. I was like, is that what he wants to do at his birthday party? Perform for everyone. Every rose has its thorn, but that's okay.
Apparently.
Looked very fun.
I'm trying to get on stage with him when he does his show down in West Palm Beach. Yeah. Still
play the bongos.
I'll do whatever he wants. That'll be fun. Well, not anything he wants, but
I'll be careful about that statement.
You shut up. You all right? Make your pick, Rhodes. You're stalling his draft.
No, I'm not. You're the one who told the 10-minute story. Okay,
True.
I am up next. There's only 2 picks left in the 4th round, which is all we're going to be able to accomplish today because
All
Fabs
right, but
is
here we
running
do.
our
If we do
fun.
these 2 picks quick, we can go through round 5 really, really fast, and let's
Lightning
go.
round.
All right,
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, good.
go,
I'm gonna go Keenan Allen here. I'm gonna take that maybe wide receiver 1 in Chicago to pair with Tyreek Hill, Drake London, and Isaiah Pacheco. I have 3 wide receivers and 1 running back. James Roday, this is the team that drafted out of the 1 hole. You got Christian McCaffrey, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Derrick Henry. Who are you going with next? You've got 2 picks.
Yep, I'm going to go pretty chalky here. I'll take Devonta Smith as a pretty trusty, reliable wide receiver 2. And since nobody else seems to want him, I'll put Ken Walker in my flex.
Oh, I like that.
Okay. Ken Walker in your flex. Okay, this is our lightning round. So I'm going to pick up the pace here,
all right,
and I'm going to
wait,
go.
Wait, I got to make sure I get these things in here. So, Devonta Smith.
Oh, it's not
And
going to be so
then,
lightning.
all right, go ahead.
Are you ready for me?
That's a loaded question.
You know it, buddy.
Oh, that's
I know
that
where
one.
you're going with this. I know
That's
exactly what you're taking.
I think
Maybe
I
not.
think
You already have 3 wide
no, because
receivers.
I already have 3 wide receivers. I know who you're thinking I'm thinking,
Yes,
but
yeah.
instead I'm going to go with Trey McBride
I like it.
to put with Tyreek Hill, Drake London, Isaiah Pacheco, and Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
Oh, go tight
I
end
dig
with.
it.
Okay.
All right.
Fabs, you're up next.
This is the team where I didn't take a running back yet. I will take a running back now. I will take James Cook. Giddy up. Not bad for a running back 1 in round 5.
Are you excited about James Cook? I feel like he's the guy that's like going to get drafted in this range, and everyone's going to be like, I got James Cook. Because I had to.
Look at my 4 wide receivers, though. All right.
No, I know.
That was your 0 RB team. I like that for the 0
Yeah.
RB team. Yeah.
Okay.
I also like it because I had Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. I was not taking James Cook, so that's totally cool. I will also once again lean further into the 0 RB strategy. I will figure it out later. I'm going to take Amari Cooper with this pick. So to further cement my 2022 team with Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, Mark Andrews, and Amari Cooper.
You are gold. Okay, James Roday. You have Jefferson, Pittman, Jacobs, Ridley. Who's next?
I feel like this is probably between DeAndre Swift in Chicago, theoretically being a number 1 there, and maybe time to give a little love to Nick Chubb, who should be back doing what he does in Cleveland. So I'll go DeAndre Swift.
I love
another
that.
okey-doke.
Worth mentioning that the Browns just signed Deontay Foreman, former Titan, former Bear, who now will be backing up Nick Chubb.
Former everything. Yeah.
I like that. I
Former
actually
Texas
like
Longhorn,
that.
hook him. That's another alma mater.
I just figured something out. I know who I'm going to take with my next pick because Rhodes ain't taking him here.
I'm fascinated to know who you're talking about.
Go ahead.
Okay.
We'll find out in a second.
I have 2 wide receivers. This is team 6, by the way. I have 2 wide receivers and 2 running backs. I think my running backs are less strong than my wide receivers. So in this case, I'm going to go with a running back, and I'm going to make it David Montgomery.
I mean, I would have taken David Montgomery over Aaron Jones, so I like that pick. That's good.
Awesome. Fabs, you're up next.
All right. I didn't believe in this guy last year because he's small. But he was big in the stat sheets. I'm going to go Tank Dell.
My guy!
Wide receiver, And so I've got Bijan and Kamara at running back. Hurts is the QB. Puka and Tank at wide receiver. And Todd is up.
I like that.
I will also take a second-year wide receiver. This is a bit of a flyer pick, but I'm going to take Jaden Reed from the Green Bay Packers. I really like him a lot. I think he's incredibly talented. And I think he's got a great sync with Jordan Love.
Yeah, I kind of dig him. I like that.
Yeah, I like that pick. James,
Roday, I will say this: you got
one of everything.
A runner, a wideout, a tight end, and a quarterback. And if you're going with the all-risk team, the next pick is pretty obvious to me. But you go right ahead.
This is the all-risk team. This team is wild and untamed. Wild Horses Cannot Be Broken is the name if it would fit on whatever platform I was playing on. So I am going to stick with risk, and I'm going to go with another rookie wide receiver.
Oh, okay, not the guy I was thinking. All right.
Who I think, based on the combine, which is a place that I know Lindsay likes to spend some spare time when she has it.
On her honeymoon, yeah.
Yeah. I think he's going to come in and outwork everyone else on his team, regardless of where he lands.
Won't you be my...
And be a real rookie of the year candidate that we might not see coming, and that's Rome Odunze.
Oh, it was the other one.
Rhodes thought you were going Malik, and you did not. So, Rhodes, you can go Malik here if you want.
I don't know where he's going to go, and
Rome wasn't built in a day. That's what your team.
See, that was worse than my Star Wars or my Houston mentions, by the way. So
Rome wasn't built in an hour with a hard out.
Right.
Okay, so I'm up next is Jahmyr Gibbs, Devon Achane, Sam Laporta, Rashee Rice. I feel like I'm almost contractually obligated to go young here.
It's true.
Well, Rhodes, you do like them young. Go ahead.
My husband is much younger.
I'm bad.
Than me.
Listen,
anyway.
I'm not an actor. I'm not brilliant like James Roday. I'm not a comedian. I just try to have fun in our.
I only have one wide receiver. So I feel like I have to take a wide receiver here. The question is it Waddle or is it Cooper Kupp? I'm going to go with Waddle.
He's already on my other team.
Oh,
so
shit.
You were that guy or gal. So I guess Cooper Kupp was your pick.
Do I want it to be Cooper Kupp or am I going to go in a different direction? Was I just saying his name to say his name? I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to go with Cooper Kupp. I'll go with Cooper Kupp.
Right.
I'll go with Cooper Kupp.
Take him out of his misery, man. I mean, the poor guy.
There's high end, right? Like he could give me 30 points. Maybe last year was weird. Maybe there will be
mentor those young players on your team. Keep them in line.
There you go. Yeah. See what he did for Puka last year. He's going to be really good with these people that he won't talk to. Fabs.
All right, so I've got AJ Brown and DJ Moore and Chris Olave at wide receiver on this squad. I've got Travis Etienne as my lone running back, and the running backs are kind of like the guys that are available are kind of like all same, as Lindsay likes to say.
I do like that. Yeah.
So I am going to take it's one of the two. I'm going to go with George Kittle here because I feel like Toss, even if he took like two running backs, there's still going to be another running back I could take, and I'd rather have like a top 5 or 6 tight end. I kind of was hoping that McBride was there at that point, but he was long gone. So I'll go with Kittle there around 5 and take my running back 2 in round 6. Toss.
Yep, I will round us out here. I'm kind of glad looking at this 12th team that I'm picking at Jonathan Taylor, Kyron Williams, Deebo Samuel Sr., and Patrick Mahomes that I went double stack on the running backs because looking at the board right now, I don't like you just said, Fabs, I don't like the running backs. They're available, but I do like the wide receivers there. I'm going to take Terry McLaurin as my second wide receiver. I think Washington their offense could be pretty solid here. And if they have a couple of other pieces that take some of the attention away from Terry McLaurin, it will help him because he is a true wide receiver 1. I was really enticed though. I almost went with Malik Neighbors there because I think right around this, if we continue the draft, I would have another pick. I might take him as well. So just mentioning that.
Also, Chubb hasn't been taken, right?
Nope.
Chubb was not taken yet.
Nope. James thought about it and passed.
But no. All right. Terry McLaurin is the new Kyle Pitts. Like every year we're just going to go, I think it's going to be better this year now that they have a new quarterback.
But he's good.
Copy, paste, repeat. Oh, 100%. I agree. We don't know if their quarterback's going to be good. Who knows?
I believe in Jaden Daniels. I do.
Oh, okay. We'll see. That's 5 rounds, you guys.
All right.
We had 4 quarterbacks taken, 5 tight ends, and then I can't count the other positions. There's
a lot of running backs and wide receivers.
Yeah. All right. So we will we'll get a chance to talk about this next week. Our thoughts about what was done, strategies, which teams we like the best. In the meantime, though, James Roday Rodriguez, I want to close things out with some thoughts from you about how you thought that this went, since you will not be here next Tuesday.
Yeah, well, Fab's rankings really held up. I think there's only 4 guys in his top 60 that we didn't draft. So that's either a testament to how good his rankings are or the fact that it was what was in front of all of our faces.
Probably the latter. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll just say that fantasy has become such a fluid thing, and it seems like every year there's like a new trend or a new strategy that you have to follow to keep up. And because we've gone through all the trends, I feel like we finally landed at a place where, all right, any one of these 5 approaches can win if you get the right guys. So it's really just about knowing what you want your build to be and letting the draft come to you, and knowing that there's multiple ways to win now because we've seen them all. We've seen 0 RBs, we've seen 0 QBs, we've seen 0 wide receiver. We've seen them all win. So pick your poison and do your research.
Don't get into trouble with your betting, guys. I just want to quickly remind you that the tournament is here. It's happening right now. I'm sure you filled out all your brackets. Hopefully you did that at Bet Online, which is your bracket headquarters for this season, with best bracket contest out there, and odds and lines and info on every game and every round right up until the national championship. You can access the most up-to-the-minute wagering information anytime from your desktop or your mobile devices, and even track your bracket real time all the way through the tournament. Head to Bet Online today and get in on the action. Remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, the game starts here. This has been the Believe Fantasy Football Show presented by Bet Online. James Roday Rodriguez, we really appreciate you spending some time with us.
Thanks, my brother.
My pleasure, guys.
Good stuff. Michael Fabiano. You can follow him on social media at Michael_Fabiano and Lindsay_Rhodes. We'll be back again next Tuesday, and we'll have a chance to metabolize all the things that just happened and what we thought worked and what we thought maybe did not work, and who is still left available on the board for the different builds that we had. Hope you'll join us then. Again, in the meantime, like, subscribe, comment, do all of the things, and we'll check in again next Tuesday.